Hi, this is Nina. I wanted to come to you today with a little story about one of my sessions I did recently. This was a lady who came to me for her second session with me. And she had a lovely session. She went really, really deep, really, really quickly. As tends to happen when you have sort of more sessions one after the other over time. And this was a really beautiful session with a really powerful message. In the exploration part of the session, there was a distinct kind of Christ consciousness type Jesus-y vibe going on. And then I noticed that throughout the session, they kept coming forward this really powerful message, and especially when we started speaking to her higher self, this message about the children that will be born in 2020. And this message just kept coming through that this person was going to be working with these children and needed to focus on helping them grow their abilities. They will be very gifted, and all of these really interesting things were coming through. But this message just kept getting more powerful and sort of persistent, to the point where my client had brought questions to the session that she wanted answered. And this was the answer to every question, was this same message about these children and how important it is to help these children. And these will be very gifted children that are coming through in 2020. And it kind of got to the point where, as a practitioner, I was like, okay, I hear that message. Thank you for that amazing message. But can we actually answer the question? Because that wasn't what I asked. So yeah, I kind of had to reel the higher self in a bit to actually home in and answer some of the questions, because this message was so powerful about these babies that were going to be being born in the next year. So then we were working through the questions and the answers, and there was some healing done. I remember we went in and we spoke to a few different parts of the body, and we did some healing. And we were sort of dealing with some of our physical issues, and a message came through from higher self that she needed to be physically on form because she was about to become very busy. So I explored that a little bit and, asked, okay, so what is that about? Is there any more that you can tell us with that? And they said that there's a baby that will be born soon. And I said, oh, is that going to be someone in her family? And they said, yes, it's going to be her daughter. And I went, wow, that's amazing. And I said, do you have any more information for us about that? And they said, yes, it's going to be a very gifted child. It's going to be one of these really powerful children that will be born in 2020. And I was like, wow, okay. Is there a message from this soul that's about to come in? So we connected to the soul of this baby that will be born, and we asked if she had a message, and she did. She had a message for my client, and she also had a message for who will be her mother. And the message was, I am your miracle, and I'm meant to be born, and I have a very very important mission and purpose to being here. So we continued with the session, and we got some lovely information from this soul. And we continued with the session, and my client eventually came back to us, and the first thing she said was, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything at all. So I spoke to her about a few of the things that came through, and I asked her if she remembered this message from what will be her grandchild. And she went, oh, the book, that would be a miracle. And explained that her daughter was unable to have children. And certainly that would be very, very difficult physically. I won't go into detail for privacy purposes. But basically what she was saying was that would be impossible. And it would be a miracle if that did happen. So I told her the message and things like that. And then when I sent her the audio, I sent the timestamp for when that part of the session when that message came through. And and she got in touch with me the next day. And she said, Nina, I've just had a phone call from my daughter. And she's pregnant. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe that we just had that experience. And the very next day, her daughter had contacted her to tell her that she was pregnant. So seemingly everybody, including the medical teams involved, were all scratching their heads. They had no idea how this could have been. It really physically wasn't an option to naturally conceive. So that was really amazing, and just kind of, and is a lovely example of how magical this work can really be. And that's why I wanted to share it with you, because it's such a beautiful story. I won't share any of the personal details about anything that's going on with that. But I wanted to share the message, and I wanted to share the outcome of that session. The other interesting thing about that particular session was that it was postponed, I think maybe once or twice. And I think we needed to wait like another month or so before we could have the session. And I find that interesting too, that the timing of these sessions is always perfect for when it actually happens. So yeah, that was a lovely, lovely session, and a lovely story. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. And if you yourself would like to have a session with me, I will link all of my links below for how you can contact me. The best place is generally my website, which is www.rafaelasoulsessions.com. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I wish you the most wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon.